Hello everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day today. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Today, just wanted to give you guys the ultimate fishing guide, basically everything that you would need to know in order to get from the Mark 1 to the Mark 4 reel, and some other tips along the way. We'll talk about bait, locations for fishing, and all that stuff. Let's get into it here. Okay, so let's start right from the beginning. Now, if you haven't even fished before, or you're just coming out of the vault, you can come right down from the vault here that you come out at the beginning of the game, Vault 76, and you can interact with this note, and it will open up a spot on the map here called the Fisherman's Rest that you can fast travel to, and this will basically begin the intro mission into fishing. Now, I know most of you guys have already done this before. I just wanted to include this in the video just to make everybody aware of this, as you know, maybe you're watching this and this is the first time you're playing. Now, basically, you're going to come over here, talk to these two guys, go back and forth a little bit until you talk to the fisherman over here, and he will give you everything that you need to go fishing. And basically, you're going to get a little quest right now. And all that involves is catching 3 fish. You can catch the 3 fish right there, so don't really go too far. You're going to have to go back and talk to these guys. Just basically walk off the pier here like I showed, catch your 3 fish, and you should be good to go. Now, once you're done, you can talk to the captain. It's going to prompt you to talk to the captain, but he's just going to get you to cook the fish bits. So, if you go up to the cooking station before you talk to him, you will save yourself a little bit of time. It's not a big deal, just throwing it out there. This way you don't have to talk to him twice. So, you can see I actually did it this way, but I just could have made the fish bits, went and talked to him, and then I could have delivered the stuff to the trough. So either way you do it, just throwing it out there, you know, whatever, you know, suits your fancy, however you want to do this. And then you're pretty much done the main intro quest of fishing, basically. And then we can get onto the challenges, working on, you know, the marks, basically, to improve our fishing. Now, I just want to talk about the daily that you can, I want to talk about the daily that you have access to after you complete this main mission. It is very important, and it will basically give you the chance to learn the plans for some mods for the fishing reel. Now, you won't need these mods until a little bit later, which I will explain here, but this is the name of the mission, Big Fish in a Small Pond, and it is very important, like I said, in order to get the mods for the fishing reel, which you will want to get for the Mark IV challenges. I'll explain as we go. And yeah, all you have to do is catch 7 fish and basically go back and fill out a ledger. I will put a video in the description explaining how to farm this a bit. Now, Mark 1 reel, catch any medium fish, catch any small fish. After you've done the daily and this opening quest, you should have the Mark 1 reel. These are the challenges that you will get to after you've done this opening quest. They are in your challenges in the main menu. It'll be at the bottom under fishing. And yeah, a lot of challenges here, but we are going to focus on the marks because I feel like they're the most important. Now, make sure you learn the plan after you've, completed that Mark 1 challenge, and then you're going to come over to a Tinker's Bench and you're going to want to mod. So basically come over here and make your reel a Mark 1 reel. Now, you're going to need every advantage that you can get progressing up the marks, as I'm going to explain in the video here. You do not need to change the hook, and the bobber and all that is just like cosmetic. It's not going to make a huge difference. Now, a couple of tips and tricks or things I just want to point out before we really get into the challenges here. I do recommend that you are cooking your fish bits when you're doing this, just so you know, or just so you have a chance to catch fish a little bit quicker. And by cooking the fish bits, which if you put on super duper, you can have the chance to get double or a lot more fish bits, especially if you're crafting a lot of them. But basically you're making these so you can cook grilled fish. Now, this will reduce the time to hook, and it lasts 20 minutes, and it will save you a lot of time. Trust me. If you need salt to cook it, you could come over to the White Springs Golf Club here. There is tons of salt inside here. You're probably going to have to fight a couple of ghouls. But yeah, just come inside here, check around. There's got to be at least 6 or 7 salt here. Let us know in the comments, guys, where we can find some salt. And yes, back to the Fisherman's Rest here. This is where you're going to want to come here to get your common bait. We're going to talk about bait here as well very quickly. And you can get 100 common bait from these guys. You can pretty much keep buying it from them if you hop servers or leave your server and come back. Now, improved bait. I did this whole quest basically right to Mark 4 with only using like 15 improved bait, and it was for only catching one fish. So I want to tell you right now, you do not have to waste your time catching improved bait, or sorry, hunting improved bait. You really don't. I did all of these except catching one fish, which is what you have to use in order to catch this one fish, which I will explain as we go further. You can also use superb bait to catch this fish as well, but I just wanted to make it very clear, I caught 99% of the fish that I'm going to show you. Basically all but one with just regular old common bait, and I wasn't stressing about improved and superb, which I do recommend, guys. I've done this twice now. Also, weather affects fishing. Rain is very good for, is a better chance for catching regional fish, so the ones you're fishing for. So if you can fish in the region you're catching a fish for in the rain, it will definitely help you. The snow station also counts, so if you have snow in your camp, it will also count as rain. The radiation storms, or even a nuke zone, or a rad storm, or even the Mothman weather station will improve the chances for catching glowing fish. So I just wanted to throw that out there. There is a glowing fish that you have to catch on this list. So just wanted to make it clear that weather stations are important when you're catching fish. And you can see this is why weather, or appliances at your camps are definitely important. So if you have access to these, I highly recommend you make a little camp, maybe even blueprint it, that you can bring around with you, that you can put a weather station at. It is very beneficial for you, and it will probably save you a little bit of time catching these fish. If you don't, I did most of my fishing not in the rain and not in the nuke zone. I'm telling you, it is very possible. I just want to give you guys all the advantages here that you can. So yeah, if you can do that, put a nuke zone, put a rain zone in this camp. If you want to, if you have the live bait, make sure it's not in your blueprint. You will not be able to put it down. Now, let's get on to the Mark II reel challenges. Now that we've talked about the tips there, let me know in the comments if there's any other tips there, guys. We're going to start with the Canawa piranha, and sawgills we will catch while we're going for the piranha. So let's start with the Canawa piranha. We're going to come over here to the Canawa Nuka-Cola plant. You can go anywhere in the forest region, but I would suggest coming over here. I seem to have good luck myself over here, and I just want to say, unfortunately, the glowing one doesn't count. And again, you will catch sawgills here before I get into that. Just going to show you here, I did catch the glowing Canawa piranha. If you didn't know, I started a whole new character for this and went right through it. And I just want to show you that, no, the glowing Canawa piranha does not count as catching the Canawa piranha, unfortunately. I actually caught 3 of these over 2 characters before I got the regular one. So don't be surprised if you get that guy before you get it. Just keep at it and, hope for the best. A lot of fishing are doing this, guys, this whole challenge and everything and fishing and whatnot does take a lot of patience. It really does. And be prepared for that piranha, because he is a feisty little guy. He's going to be your first challenge in getting these marks done. Now, on to the next fish here, the leatherback. This guy we're going to fish in the Savage Divide for. I have had very good luck catching this guy just beside Pleasant Valley train station here. You can see I have a camp over here at it. If you come over here, it's where Meat Week happens sometimes, where the Primal Cuts goes off. I've had really good luck here catching the leatherback. He's not as tricky as the piranha, I would say, but you'll definitely know you have him on the reel, especially if you don't have any mods yet. But yep, got to get him in the Savage Divide. And then once you've caught these guys, and I'm sure by then you will have caught all the sawgills, once you get these other 2 fish, I'm sure you will have caught all the sawgills. Make sure you're learning your plan, and now we were on to the Mark III. So make sure you're upgrading your rod before you go, hunting the next set of fish, because you're going to need every advantage, like I said before, into catching these. Now, this is where it's going to start getting a little bit tricky. This is where you're going to be fishing for a bit and getting a little bit frustrated. For catching the Exotle there at the top, you have to use improved or superb bait. We will leave that fish to the last. You can start with the Ashen or the Bluefin first, but we are going to start with the Bluefin Zapper first in the the Skyline Valley region. I have had good luck at this body of water down here. If you come down here, you'll see it. There's a waterfall beside it. And I just want to say, again, this is where you're going to start fishing a lot and just not, getting the fish you want. So have some patience. If you know anything about fishing, You really have to have some patience, and this is where it's really going to start to come into play. And keep in mind, just keep making those grilled fish with those fish bits. It will help. Just a reminder, guys. Keep at it, and then you're going to get that fish. The bluefin isn't a hard guy to reel in. I felt he was just a little bit tricky to get on the line. One of those more rarer ones when you're starting out. But yeah, you got to catch 3 of these guys. And then after that, you might want to move on to the, what is it? Not the bluefin, the ambusher. And we're going to go over to the ash heap area of the map to catch these guys. And the ash heap, I know people like going to Lake Reynolds, but I want to show you guys another place. I've seemed to have a lot of bad luck at Lake Reynolds, especially with the Deathjaw, which we're going to get into. So I want to recommend this spot just right of the Abandoned Mineshaft 4 here. It's almost by this 83 speed sign here, or highway sign here, I guess I should say. This is probably a better place, I think, to come to. So I just want to throw it out there. If you're not having any luck at Lake Reynolds, maybe come over here. And these guys aren't too hard to reel in. They just seem to move back and forth a lot. So just, again, be prepared when you're catching them. You should have no problem catching these guys with a little bit of patience. If you've made it this far, you definitely got a little bit of patience. Now, after we've caught 3 of those guys, let's move on to the Exotle. Now, you can catch these guys anywhere, but like I said, you have to use improved or superb bait in order to catch these guys. Again, remember, this is the only fish that I didn't catch with common bait. I used common bait to catch everything else, guys. Just keep that in mind, and I will show you stats at the end of the video of how much bait I used and all that as well. Just want to throw it out there. This is the only one I used improved bait for. Now, I find right near the retreat here, this seems to be a good place to catch the Exotle. I have caught a couple of them over here. I have caught them other places, but I would bring you over here. I only used about not even 20 improved bait to catch this guy. I will link a video on how to get improved bait as well. And I just want to say the Exotle is not really hard to reel in at all. It's very easy to reel in. It's just a little tricky getting them on your hook. Now, once we've caught all 3 of these guys, we have our Mark III guys. Now we're starting to turn into a bit of a professional fisherman. Make sure you learn the plan and make sure you're upgrading it in the Tinker's Workbench here. Now, we're going to have to start talking about mods here for these guys. The next fish we're catching are the Deathjaw, the Glowing Bog Lurker, and the Purple Radpole. I would go for the Bog Lurker first. It has to be a glowing one. There are regular ones, then the Purple Radpole, then the Deathjaw. The Glowing Bog Lurker is definitely the easiest to reel in. The Radpole and the Deathjaw are definitely a little bit tougher. If you don't have any mods on your fishing rod like I'm showing here, all I have is the Mark III, and this is probably a Deathjaw if I'm not mistaken. You can see he's very hard to reel in, but don't get discouraged. Just, you got to be doing those dailies and trying to unlock at least the improved bearing or the advanced drag, which I'm going to show here. You can see how hard they are to reel in. And again, it's that big fish in a small pond daily. I will link a video in the description on how to farm these plans. You can do it more than once a day. And just hope for some good luck here. On this character, after trying it a couple times, I was lucky enough to unlock the improved bearing. I would say the advanced drag is better, which I'm going to get into here, but I did complete right up to the Mark IV with just the improved bearing, which I'm going to show on my character. This is my high-level character. I hopped on here. I just wanted to show you the mods you can get. Highly recommend the advanced drags, probably the best. Improved bearing is definitely close behind it. I really had no problem, reeling in these fish with that. Stabilized gear ratio, I'm not too sure about. And I would stay away from the steady handle. I've heard it's not too bad, but personally, I thought the standard hook was better than the steady handle. Definitely recommend the advanced drag and the improved bearings. This is where you're gonna wanna start getting these guys. I'm telling you, you're gonna need, again, every advantage you can get. Now you can see I got the improved bearings with my new character here, so I threw this on. And this is where I started to really have some luck. Not all the fish that I was going for were getting away from me. Now, this is where I was catching the glowing bog lurkers. I had a lot of good luck over here. Now, if you don't have mods on your rod yet, that's why I say start with these guys, because these guys are definitely able to be pulled in without having mods on your fishing rod. So just throwing it out there, you might want to start out with these guys while you're, hunting for those mods for your fishing rod. And yes, this is a glowing fish, so if you can, do this in a rad storm or a nuke zone in the cranberry, which there is more than, a couple of them every once in a while, probably a better way to catch this fish. Now, for the rad pulls, these guys are getting a little bit tricky. You probably want a mod on your rod at this point. These guys are pretty tough to pull in. Probably not as bad as the Deathjaw, and probably not as bad as another fish I'm about to show you, but these guys are definitely a little tricky to pull in. You can catch them without mods, but it's gonna be tough, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna be tough. You're gonna want the mods at this point. You really are. Now, like I said, I'm gonna show you another fish here. I think it's called the Celt. This guy is even tougher than the rad pull to reel in. So if you're, hooking stuff in the Toxic Valley here and they're getting away from you, it's more than likely a Celt, to be honest. The rad pull is not as hard to reel in. So don't get demoralized if one gets off your hook in, the Toxic Valley here. It's most likely a Celt. They are a tough one to reel in. And I just want to say, of course, with the rad pulls, if you can get some rain going at your camp, will definitely help you catch these guys a little bit quicker. Now, on to the Deathjaws. Again, I would suggest going over to that spot by Abandoned Mine Shaft 4. I just found it a little bit better than Lake Reynolds. And the Deathjaw, probably the toughest fish to catch for getting your Mark IV reel, or just the fish in general, other than the local legends. This fish is tough to reel in, and it's just tough to get on your hook. I feel like it's the most rare fish in the game other than the local legends. I swear to God it is. So just keep at it, guys. You're probably gonna want mods at this point when you're fishing for these guys, because you don't want to lose them when they get on. They take a while to get on, especially if you're using the common bait, right? Don't suggest using improved bait, but if you got an extra one or two at this point, probably not a bad idea to catch the Deathjaws. They can be tough. Just keep at it, guys. And you will catch all 4 of these guys. Or sorry, 5 of these guys, I should say. Took me a couple of days to get the last 15 fish, if I'm being honest. So, again, guys, I will show you the stats at the end here. Once you've caught all of these guys, you will have the Mark IV reel. Just keep at it. I don't really know what else to tell you. It's really a waiting game. And like I said, every mod helps, unless it's maybe the steady one. But, let me know in the comments if you like the steady reel. And yeah, just to show some stats, if you count the previous challenges I did to the 760, that puts me over 900 fish I caught doing this. Remember, I only used improved bait to catch the Exotle, and I didn't use more than 20. These are all the fish I caught. There's definitely a couple of missing there's definitely a couple missing because I did make the grilled fish a bit, so I did need to make some fish bits with the fish. I tried not to cook any as possible, just so I could show you the amount of fish that I had at the end of this, and even the junk that I caught as well. Keep in mind, you're not only going to catch fish, you're going to catch a bit of junk with the common bait. And yeah, that's pretty much it, everybody. I really hope this can help you guys get through the marks. And like I said, I will link a video in the description explaining how to get the advanced drag and the improved bearing. You will need those for the Mark IV challenges. Let me know in the comments if there's any other tips and tricks you'd like to include. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching. Have a pleasant evening.